Welcome back to today's video. In today's video, we're going to discuss two of the most sought after areas in Southern Arizona, Dove Mountain and Oro Valley. Sit tight because we're going to discuss the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between. And as always, I'm going to share an important reminder towards the end of the video, so you're definitely not going to want to miss that. We're going to jump into the video right now. Hey, I'm Rich, and if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about lifestyle, real estate, and new builds in Southern Arizona and Tucson, then you've come to the right place. Make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit the bell notification so that you can be the first to learn everything you want to know. Having lived in Tucson my entire life, it's the city I know best and the city I love the most. With over 15 years of experience as a certified real estate appraiser and realtor, we get calls and texts every single day from people just like you who are looking to make a move to Tucson, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in one day or 1 year, call, text, email, schedule a free Zoom consult, whatever is more convenient for you. We want to help make this move smooth anywhere in Southern Arizona. So first up, we're going to compare location and accessibility of both Dove Mountain and Oro Valley. Let's take a look first at Oro Valley. Oro Valley is nestled at the base. It starts at the base of the Santa Catalina Mountains. So you're going to get tremendous views. It is definitely one of the most spectacular areas in Southern Arizona, and it's well established. You're gonna have about a 25 to 30 minute commute from Oro Valley to downtown Tucson, just for reference. The main thoroughfare that goes through Oro Valley is called the Oracle Road. It goes north to south, and that's probably one of the fastest ways that you're gonna be able to commute north to south. So whether you're going further north up to Phoenix, you could commute that way. You could commute a little bit further west and hit I-10 and head up to Phoenix that way, which is, they've got a big international airport up there that you could commute to. Tucson International Airport's probably easiest to access from I-10, so you would head west to I-10 from Oro Valley to get there as well. Now, one of the biggest disadvantages of Oro Valley is because of where it's located and because of the freeway system that is in and around Tucson, I-10 is really the only freeway that is accessible to Oro Valley. So it's about 25 minutes from Oro Valley to I-10, which isn't really as convenient as many people would like. I would definitely say that that is one of the disadvantages of Oro Valley. Also, because of where it's located and there's no easy way to I-10, it makes commuting to Tucson, which many people do, a little bit longer. You have to drive pretty much all the way through the city, taking Oracle Road all the way south up through northwestern Tucson and commuting into wherever your job is located. Now, when we compare that to Dove Mountain is located also in what would be considered northwest Tucson. Dove Mountain is surrounded by gorgeous desert. You're gonna have rolling hills. Dove Mountain is located on top of a hill, as the name would indicate. You're gonna have saguaros, you're gonna have rolling hills, you're gonna have 3 different mountain ranges that are pretty easy to spot from most of the areas in Dove Mountain. It's gonna be about a similar distance to downtown Tucson as Oro Valley, so nothing too substantially different there. It's located a little bit closer to I-10 than Oro Valley for sure, and it's a little bit more convenient to other amenities in northwest Tucson, whether that's going to be closer to River Road, which is one of the main thoroughfares going east and west that kind of divide Tucson from northwest Tucson, or Oro Valley, or even further north. Now, one of the big disadvantages when it comes to Dove Mountain is it is a little bit more remote. There's just not as much commercial amenities, as we're going to talk about a little later in the video. It's not going to have the same type of conveniences that Oro Valley is going to have, and so that is something to contend with. If you need grocery stores, gas stations, if you need shopping, dining, all that sort of stuff right next to you or very, very convenient, Dove Mountain is definitely limited in comparison to Oro Valley. So next, let's talk a little bit about the housing and overall communities as comparing Oro Valley and Dove Mountain. First, we'll start with Oro Valley. Oro Valley, you're gonna have a lot more diversity in the type of homes that you're gonna find. So whether it's single family homes, townhouses, condos, luxury properties, luxury estates, you're gonna have a lot more diversity in what you find. Also, you're gonna have some very well-established larger communities like Stone Canyon, which is a luxury community, as well as Rancho Vistoso, which predominantly hit its stride in the 1990s, and it's a big development in Oro Valley that is very, very popular. Both communities, both areas are just examples of a couple in Oro Valley that are very well established. Generally speaking, Oro Valley is gonna be a little bit more affordable as compared to Dove Mountain, and I think the majority of the reason that is because Oro Valley is older. A lot of the infrastructure is older. It's been around for a lot longer than Dove Mountain. So, you know, your roads, your street signs, your lights, all of that, sidewalks, all of that stuff is gonna be much older infrastructure that was built a lot longer ago. And therefore, you're gonna have, I think, older homes that kind of drive the price down versus a place like Dove Mountain, where that's not necessarily gonna be the case. I mentioned that there's a lot of diversity in the type of homes that you get in Oro Valley. I think this is a huge advantage and why so many of the buyers that we help decide to really take a serious look at Oro Valley. So whether you're looking at retirement, age-restricted communities, Oro Valley has several to choose from, including a huge one called Sun City Vistoso, big master plan community out there. Also, you've got older established neighborhoods. So if you like the older style of homes, if you like homes that were built 30, 40 years ago, just because you believe that they were built a little bit different back then, and that's something that you like, there's a lot of those options in Oro Valley. You've got very, very exclusive luxury properties and luxury communities within Oro Valley. So if you're looking for something a little bit more exclusive, a little bit more bespoke, you definitely have that in communities like Stone Canyon, located in Oro Valley. And there's several newly constructed communities as well. So there's a lot of national builders that are operating in Oro Valley that have different phases of construction going on, where they're building out brand newly constructed homes that you can pick from. The whole neighborhood is brand new. So they really have a wide diversity of lots of different types of neighborhoods and types of homes that you can choose from depending on what you're looking for. So disadvantages when it comes to Oro Valley, I would say comparatively, you're probably gonna have a little bit higher density of homes, meaning that there's gonna be more homes in a smaller area. Probably gonna find that a little bit more predominantly in Oro Valley. So if you don't mind having your neighbors close, maybe this isn't an issue for you. If you're looking for more space, if you're looking for more privacy, then Oro Valley certainly can accomplish that. But in general, I would say that it has a higher density of homes than something like Dove Mountain. The last thing that I wanted to mention that could be considered a disadvantage to Oro Valley is something that I touched on before. Overall, the infrastructure of Dove Mountain is older. So streets, sidewalks, lighting, all of that infrastructure is older. And I think with that, you're gonna see some of that age. So if that's something that is concerning to you, then that's why I wanted to mention it. All right, so next let's pivot over to Dove Mountain and take a look at what it has to offer in terms of housing and communities. Dove Mountain is known for its high-end single-family homes and luxury estates. One of the coolest things that I think people really enjoy about Dove Mountain is the specific plan that they had in mind when they designed Dove Mountain. They designed Dove Mountain's area to utilize and protect as much of the open space as possible. So they have a huge emphasis on the open space in Dove Mountain to kind of protect that privacy, that exclusivity, and just to give you some distance from neighbors as much as possible. Also, keep the density lower. And so you're not having homes right next to each other, or you're not having a whole lot of homes in one small area. Another one of the biggest advantages that people find in Dove Mountain is going to be the Ritz-Carlton and all of the amenities that come along with the Ritz, as well as the Gallery Golf Club. So from dining, recreation, sports facilities, golfing, outdoor lifestyle, resort style living, the Ritz-Carlton and the Gallery is definitely one of the big draws to why people enjoy and are drawn to Dove Mountain. All right, so a couple disadvantages when it comes to Dove Mountain are gonna be, in general, it's gonna be priced a little bit higher. I think that the majority of the time, that is due to the average age of the home in Dove Mountain versus Oro Valley. you're definitely paying for newer infrastructure, from the house you live in to the streets you drive on to the sidewalk you walk on. So that is something that I think buyers consider when considering the differences between the two. So next, we're going to talk about amenities and lifestyle. I think these are the categories that really draw people into both communities, Oro Valley and Dove Mountain. And they both have some very cool things that I think people enjoy. So let's first start with Oro Valley. Because of where it's located, right at the base of, right at the foothills of the Santa Catalina Mountains, as you would imagine, there is some spectacular views. There's a lot of outdoor lifestyle stuff that you can do, from hiking, walking, taking trails, bike riding. I mean, it's just spectacular for outdoor living. And you've got Catalina State Park that's very close as well, which is a huge national park right in the Santa Catalina Mountains, and it's an easy drive from pretty much anywhere in Oro Valley. You can spend the day out there hiking, you can spend several days out there hiking, or you can go for a quick, couple hour trip, round trip, if you wanted to just get a quick hike in. Oro Valley has several amazing golf courses, including the sought after Oro Valley Country Club. Oro Valley Marketplace is located on the northern portion of Oro Valley, and it is a mix of retail, shopping, dining. They even put on events there, outdoor music, and there's some really cool community things out there as well. So if you're interested in that, definitely go check that out. Both of these options, make sure you get an idea of what the marketplace has to offer. In general, because of the size of Oro Valley, there's a lot of stuff that you can find to do, whether it be entertainment, whether it be farmers markets, community events, art festivals. There's a lot to choose from that I think makes Oro Valley at the top of the list for a lot of people. As far as disadvantages when it comes to Oro Valley and amenities and lifestyle, I would say the only one that comes to mind is it's not as specific to luxury lifestyle as Dove Mountain. So, if you're looking for that, then maybe this is a disadvantage that's important for you to kind of consider. All right, so pivoting over to Dove Mountain now. Similar to Oro Valley, it has an emphasis on outdoor living. If you like being outdoors and you want to take advantage of that, then this is definitely something exciting. So in Dove Mountain, you've got over 40 miles of walking trails, dedicated space to kind of be outdoors and in nature. It's got 81 holes of championship golf. It's got the Ritz-Carlton and the Gallery, which are two of the most exclusive golf resorts in Southern Arizona. You've got access to the Gallery Golf Resort and the Ritz in terms of dining, or taking a staycation, having friends and family come visit you. They're just nice amenities to be able to have pretty much in your backyard, available for you or anyone that's coming to visit. Dove Mountain also hosts regular community building events, whether it be for the 4th of July fireworks, getting the community together for some sort of outdoor event, biking, walking, anything like that. There's plenty to choose from in Dove Mountain as well. So one of the disadvantages, this is kind of obvious and something that I hear when people are considering the two and choose to go with Oro Valley over Dove Mountain, is the conveniences such as shopping, dining, pharmacies, grocery stores, all of that sort of stuff. Those aren't located directly in Dove Mountain. There is one grocery store, but that's about it. There's one grocery store, there's a couple restaurants, but when you compare it to something like Oro Valley, it is, it's hard to compare the two because it just doesn't have the conveniences. That could change with time, depends. I mean, Dove Mountain is definitely going through a lot of changes and probably will continue to be built up. So we'll see what the future brings. So the next category that I think buyers find important are schools. So let's talk a little bit about what school systems and schools are available in the two. First, starting with Oro Valley. So Oro Valley is part of the Amphitheater School District, and do your research when it comes to schools. Everyone's a little bit different on what they're looking for, what their standards are. So definitely do your research. In general, I would say Amphitheater School District does have some highly regarded schools such as Canyon del Oro High School, as well as Painted Sky Elementary. So check those out. If schools are important to you, do a little bit of research, and I think you'll be pleased what Oro Valley has to offer. They also have several charter schools if you're interested in that, so take a peek at that. I didn't really come up with any disadvantages for this because I think they're both pretty comparative. No disadvantages that I could really come up with. So taking a look at what Dove Mountain has to offer, Dove Mountain is part of the Marana School District. In Dove Mountain, you have a K-8 C-STEM school with a focus that has a focus on engineering, science, technology, and math. So I would say that that's something to take a look at. Again, do your research on different school districts. One of the disadvantages that you may find with Dove Mountain is you're having to commute in order to get to the school that you want to get to because of its limited amount of schools within Dove Mountain. If a short commute, 15, 20-minute commute is not a big deal to you, then hey, you've got the best of both worlds. The next category that I wanted to talk about is safety and community. So first we can start with Oro Valley. In general, again, do your research so that you can feel comfortable with this, but in general, Oro Valley is regarded as a very safe place. It's a place that I personally would live. I would have no issues moving my family there, my 2 kids, and feel very safe and very accommodated there. It's recognized in the community as one of the safest areas in Southern Arizona. So if that's important to you, then this is definitely right up your alley. Oro Valley, because of its size, it does have many medical facilities available. So whether it's hospitals, any type of treatment facilities, emergency rooms, emergency medical stuff, all of that is easily available. And right in Oro Valley, you've got multiple different facilities to choose from. Now, when it comes to disadvantages in terms of safety and community, I was kind of scratching my head on this, but I do think that this is one that I would personally consider. And the fact that Oro Valley has Oracle Road, which is one of the main thoroughfares running north to south. And because of that, you've got 6 to 7 lanes of traffic coming north and south right through the heart of Oro Valley, which brings a lot of traffic. And in my mind, more traffic, more people, potential for more problems. Now, that doesn't at all mean that Oro Valley is unsafe or there's a crime wave going on. Again, do your research so that you feel comfortable. But just coming from my perspective, I think the more traffic that has access to an area, especially just passing through, potentially the more likelihood for more people, potentially the issue for more problems. Now, taking a look at the same factors in Dove Mountain, you're gonna find something similar. Generally regarded Dove Mountain as a very safe community. Again, I personally have considered buying a house in Dove Mountain. It's definitely a place that I would feel comfortable moving my family to, living there. I would feel very safe. Do your research once again. Everybody's a little bit different. So what's safe to me may not meet someone else's standards. So just pop on a Google search and find out exactly all the information that you're looking for, specifically as it relates to any crime that you might be concerned about. There are quite a bit of gated communities in Dove Mountain, which I think gives it a deeper sense of security. It feels a lot more secure because of a lot of the communities are gated. So that's definitely an advantage if you've lived in a gated community or you see the advantages of living in a gated community. I think that this is speaking to you. Now, the other important advantage that I wanted to mention about Dove Mountain is Dove Mountain Boulevard is a loop that essentially dead ends. They call it Dove Mountain Boulevard, and it dead ends as you go around the loop. And so because it dead ends and the majority of Dove Mountain neighborhoods are located on that boulevard as it curves around, there's really no through traffic. You're not getting like you did in Oro Valley where Oracle Road is one of the major thoroughfares running north and south. Whoever's coming into Dove Mountain, they're usually someone they have a purpose there. So you're not just getting a bunch of traffic through that might stop for whatever reason. And again, my philosophy would just be, hey, if there's less people randomly coming through the community, there's potential for less problems. Now, statistics, I'm not gonna drop any statistics or anything like that because both communities are regarded as very safe. Do your research if you have any concerns, but either way, I think you're gonna be happy with the results from both. All right, so the next category is we're gonna talk about natural beauty and the environment, because so many of the people that we help either buy or sell homes, they're looking for views, they're looking for something that they can take in the beautiful natural desert landscape. So each of these areas have something unique to offer. Let's start first with Oro Valley. Having spent a lot of time in Oro Valley personally, being nestled right up against the Santa Catalina Mountains is amazing. That backside of what they call the backside of the Santa Catalina Mountains is tremendous. You just have so much depth and so much, topography to look at. And the mountains are massive. If you've ever been to Oro Valley, or if you haven't been, be prepared. They're not hills, they are big mountains. So it's pretty cool. You know, in Oro Valley, you definitely have these massive mountains that just feel like they are, standing guard. You're kind of nestled against them. And so they provide some amazing views. Anywhere in Oro Valley, they're easy to see. So I think that that's something that's very unique about Oro Valley. The only disadvantage that I could really think of is because Oro Valley is larger and it's been around for much longer than Dove Mountain, there tends to be areas that are more built up, where there's just less open space in Oro Valley because it's had a longer run of people building. And so that could definitely be a disadvantage if that's something that's important to you, is to have that open space. So comparing that to Dove Mountain is located in an area that's kind of rolling hills. You're not as close to the Santa Catalina Mountains, or any mountain range for that matter. However, you have tremendous, because you're a bit elevated, you've got a tremendous view of the valley of southern Arizona, and you've got tons of saguaro cactus. You can see multiple mountain ranges, including the Santa Catalina Mountains, Tortolina Mountains, Rincon Mountains. So you've got a lot to choose from. I would say there's a lot more depth in the view and the environment there. Many of the lots that you're going to stand on, and homes that I've been able to view out there, you're looking out over a valley. You can see for a lot longer, miles and miles and miles of rooftops and hills and cactus and mountains. And so I would say your depth of view out there is probably a lot further, for sure. Now, something that I mentioned before, but I'll just emphasize it one last time, the feel of the environment. Dove Mountain is smaller than Oro Valley. So because of that, as you might guess, you're gonna get a little bit of a smaller vibe. You get a little bit more of a intimate vibe in Dove Mountain as compared to Oro Valley. Oro Valley is much larger. And so if you're looking for something that's a little bit more intimate, a community that's a little bit more exclusive feeling, a little smaller, then Dove Mountain, I think, could be a big advantage for you. Now, the disadvantage, smaller sometimes feels more remote. And so if you're looking for something that is easily accessible, Dove Mountain, that could be one of the disadvantages for you, for sure. So as far as the environment goes, it's a little bit further off the beaten path, not as convenient as I've mentioned in this video before. And for whatever reason, it seems to be a little less green than Oro Valley. Now, I can only kind of speculate that might be due to the washes, maybe a lot of the water runoff that comes off the Santa Catalina Mountains. It hits Oro Valley first and kind of feeds those trees and the landscape around it. Dove Mountain, do not get me wrong, beautiful landscape. It's not that it's not green, it's just when you compare the two, I would probably give the nod to Oro Valley. So maybe a slight disadvantage to Dove Mountain that I wanted to mention is it might not be as green as compared to Oro Valley. All right, and the last category that I think is important for people to consider is the economic and employment opportunities in both areas. So we'll start first with Oro Valley. Now, Oro Valley, much like Dove Mountain, they're not going to have a whole lot of economic base employment opportunities. However, Oro Valley has a big advantage in this category. It is much larger. It employs a ton of people through education, healthcare. It does have some biotech and technology companies that are based in Oro Valley as well. You've got a lot of retail that also operates in Oro Valley as well. So overall, I definitely would say that Oro Valley has the advantage when it comes to economy and employment opportunities. Now, one of the disadvantages of Oro Valley is it's still somewhat limited. So I would say most of the people that I help buy or sell a home in Oro Valley, they end up commuting to somewhere else, either typically Tucson or Phoenix is where they commute to for work. Let's look at Dove Mountain now. Dove Mountain, again, much smaller than Oro Valley. Because of that, they have an emphasis on residential living. So you really have very limited employment opportunities in there. You've got the Ritz-Carlton and the Gallery Golf Resort. That's probably the biggest two. So not a whole lot of employment opportunities. Economic, not really a big economic driver that's just, trending upwards, pretty stable there. But it is located in Marana, which Marana in general has a lot larger of a footprint of healthcare, retail, larger companies, tech companies, education, all that sort of stuff. Much like Oro Valley, the disadvantage for Dove Mountain that I wanted to mention was the commute. Now, most people that live in Dove Mountain do commute to either Tucson or Phoenix for employment. So lastly, what I wanted to do is just kind of summarize, because we've gone through several different pieces of criteria comparing Oro Valley and Dove Mountain. So I'll give you kind of the cliff notes in conclusion here. Oro Valley has a lot more local conveniences with a higher diversity of not only styles of homes, but property types from single family, townhouse, condo. Also a lot more diversity in terms of pricing. You've got a lot wider range of pricing, catering not only towards the lower end of price ranges, but it also accommodates people at the higher end as well. And because it has a larger footprint, you tend to get a lot more conveniences in terms of grocery stores, gas stations, pharmacies, healthcare, you name it, shopping, retail, dining, all of that. Now, Dove Mountain in its own right, it's new. I mean, man, does it have a brand new feel, from the streets to the sidewalks, to the roads, to the street lights, the homes, everything. It is so much newer feeling than Oro Valley, and it really caters to that exclusivity and luxury lifestyle. It was built with the intention of having that intimate, small resort style living available to its home, to the people that call it home. And it's conveniently located next to I-10, so if you don't mind a short commute, you can pretty much get anywhere you need to go in about 20 minutes, which, because of I-10 and its proximity to that, makes that very, very doable. I've helped hundreds of people buy or sell homes in Oro Valley and Dove Mountain, and I can say 100% both of these areas are fantastic. They both have a really, really strong draw from people that want to live there. They've got raving fans from people that currently live there. And so if you're considering either of them, I don't think there's a wrong decision, but certainly tie this into what's important for your particular situation, because it's never a one size fits all. And hopefully this video has helped sort out the goods and the bads, creating a little T-chart, pros and cons, allowing you to kind of make that decision a little bit clearer. So which one are you picking? I'm curious. You've got to leave me a comment in the comment section of this video and shout out, are you picking Oro Valley or are you picking Dove Mountain? If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more. As promised, I want to leave you with a little bit of inspiration at the end of this video. So here you go. Your speed does not matter. Forward is forward. So get out of your own way. Don't worry about how fast you're getting from where you are currently to where you intend to go. Just focus on forward progress. One step at a time. Forward is still forward. And remember, whether you're moving in one day or 1 year, feel free to call, text, email, or schedule a free Zoom consult. I'd love to help make your move smooth anywhere in Tucson. And until the next time, we hope to see you around town.